What's good, guys? It's your boy Beats by Ash coming at you with another banger of a video, and today I've got for you guys another locals match video where I played Doflamingo and my opponent played Red Green Law. It's been highly requested for me to show how Doflamingo can beat Law, so I wanted to bring that content for you guys. If you enjoy this content, make sure to leave a like on the video and leave a comment down below letting me know what you want to see in the next one, and without further ado, let's get into the goo. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and get into the match here. In this deck, we're looking to see 3-cost Doflamingo as well as Perona in our opening hand. They're almost as good as Searchers. In a way, they are better than Searchers though, because since I'm technically adding the card and putting it into play for free, it's honestly a little bit better than something else like a Nami or something where they just add to hand. Alright, and our opponent goes and starts us off with a Nami, which is amazing for him. Nami is definitely one of the best cards to open up against us, and he adds the Zoro, which is also great. Putting on that early pressure against Doffy is really irritating. And then I have opened up with the Perona, so that's great for us. We're going to go ahead and stack, I believe, 2 rotations in a row here. Pretty sure I have the 3-cost Doflamingo in the top 5, and I decided to put that like 4th from the top. That way, in 2 turns, after I've already gotten my guaranteed hit, I'll be able to reestablish the stack. Number one and most important thing about this deck, continue the stack going as long as possible for free value. Our opponent goes and decides to attack us with Law first. I take the damage here. We definitely need to look for some cards, potentially a Jinbei, and he goes ahead and drops down a Nico Robin. Passes back to us. We ended up drawing the Law that we got for turn. And we go ahead and put 2 Dawn on our Doflamingo here. You'll notice 9 out of 10 times I usually put 2 Dawn on him. We put the Boa Hancock into play and our opponent takes the damage, which is great for us. Boa Hancock is really strong if you can protect it. Probably, if not the best thing to stack on top of your deck, the second best. And we have a Trafalgar Law here, which is great. The reason I go ahead and throw that down is that because I have a good chance of keeping one of my little guys, which can trade with a Searcher. He ends up having the Otama, which is extremely irritating because now he's going to be able to just kill 2 of our people for free. He kills our Law on attack, which was expected, and then our Boa is at 3k, so I just let it die. No reason to invest additional cards if he still has things that can kill it, you know. And he drops a killer and passes to us. So here I decided to put 3 Dawn on my Perona. That way I can put some pressure on his Nico Robin, force him to use his killer so that he no longer has a blocker, and potentially we can get through with our leader on that Nico Robin. Yep, and he ends up drawing a card off of that blocker, and we get through with our Doffy, hitting another Doffy, insane value engine. As you can see, the 7 almost always gets through there. He's at 4k. He would need to use too many resources for that. And then we go and establish the stack. So he's going to go ahead and use his Nami to attack our Perona. So I decided to go ahead and block with a Boa Hancock here. My reasoning for that is that hopefully he will use his leader to attack our Perona later in the turn, so we're diverting a damage rather than using multiple resources to protect our life. He ends up having the Bonnie, which was expected because he traded with our Searcher, and he goes ahead and adds a Law. Of course, he gets the best thing possible. He's going to drop down a Beige, and then he has 4 Dawn left here, which is insane because he's going to be able to drop down the Brook, giving 2 Dawn to his leader, and then he will return back the Brook and play the Law, which then allows him to replay the Zoro, add back the Searcher to hand. I know this is super complicated, but trust me, it's all legal for some reason. So he ends up killing the Perona with his Zoro, which is completely fine. He ends up forgetting to attack with his leader here, I think, or he just didn't want us to gain additional cards. Either way is good for us. I go ahead and put 2 Dawn on my leader once again. Since it's a guaranteed hit, we're going to go ahead and use our leader ability. We hit Akuma, which is amazing because we knew the top card of our deck last turn was going to be Pacifista. So if he tries to swing into it, we're guaranteed to get a 6k, which is going to be great for stopping him from having 5 people on board. He goes ahead and blocks the attack with his Beige because he's at max people on the board. He doesn't really care about that. But either way, we got a free card, so I mean, it is what it is. Our deck's working is how it's supposed to go. I go ahead and tap out here to play another Doflamingo. I did that just so we could continue the stack here. Our opponent is going to go ahead and slam down the Bonnie he already had and get a Luffy, which is amazing for him. He's going to go ahead and put, I believe, 3 Dawn on his Nami and go ahead and swing at us. And we're going to go ahead and counter with 1 in hand because we already have 1 Pacifista in hand, 1 Kuma on board. There's no reason to have another Kuma, especially if we need it, we can add back with Gecko Moria. He's swinging with his leader on us. We're going to go ahead and take the damage. Just because he has multiple cards he could still attack with. And we go ahead and discard the 2k to protect ourselves here. Just all the other cards in hand are things that we may play. And he goes and just puts the Luffy down and doesn't attack. That's a very interesting strategy. That way we don't have an opportunity to kill it on our turn since he has no blockers. Oh, did you just see your boy fan out the Dawn like that? He kinda nice. I'm going to go ahead and play Mihawk here, putting his Law on the bottom of the deck. The entire reason why I have that in the deck, just because Law is so powerful. One thing I want you to understand is that cards have to be very powerful for them to require you to take a turn off of using your leader ability. And that's just very important to remember to time your Mihawk appropriately. I end up putting the 1 Dawn on our leader, attacking his Zoro, requiring him to discard a card. And then I end up attacking with Kuma, just to remove another character from his board, requiring him to spend more Dawn in order to use his leader ability. He's going to start off searching with Nami. He's going to go ahead and grab another Luffy, then play down Brook to give his leader an additional 2 Dawn. Our opponent goes ahead and puts 2 Dawn under his Luffy. Our opponent puts an additional 2 Dawn under his Luffy, I believe. I think he is now at 10. I go ahead and take the damage because I kind of need to save cards to see if he can double attack. He attacks with Zoro. That's when I use my 2k. Probably should have used a blocker there. He attacks with his Law. I end up discarding a Mihawk. He used the effect of his leader to play the starter deck Law, which untaps his Luffy, and now he's attacking once again. I end up having to take the damage there. That's why I say I should have probably used a blocker, but I was just being greedy to try to clear his board next turn. I'm going to go ahead and use my Mihawk here to swing on his Luffy. Gets rid of the Luffy, which is really good for us. But our opponent can always have another one and we're at 0. So we have to be very protective. Make sure we have enough counter in hand to play around that. We go ahead and put 2 Dawn on our Doflamingo, attacking his Zoro, trying to clear the board as much as possible. And I go ahead and throw down a Kuma. Now we have a total of 4 blockers on board. Go ahead and pass back to our opponent. He goes ahead and drops down the Bonnie that he has been able to play for 4 turns in a row for literally no reason. Our opponent is then going to go ahead and drop down the Chopper. And by using Law's leader ability, he will be able to go ahead and bounce Bonnie back to hand in order to play Luffy out for free, putting a bunch of Dawn under it and attacking us in the face. I'm going to go ahead and block for 3, as well as play my Love Mellow, setting it up for myself to draw a card. He will now go ahead and attack us with his leader. I'm going to go ahead and block with my 3-cost Doffy, as those guys are a little bit harder to pump up and attack with. And I decided to block with one of the Kumas so we can put down another 6k body, which is going to be necessary for us to break through his board so that we can eventually go for game. I'm going to go ahead and attack his Luffy with our Mihawk. He blocks with the Chopper. I'm going to go ahead and put 3 Dawn on our Pacifista, threatening his Luffy for 9. He ends up discarding 2 Brook. I'm going to go ahead and put 3 Dawn under my leader and attack his Luffy once more. I ended up deciding to tap 1 for our 1-cost Law to give us extra protection so we don't die this turn. He's going to go ahead and play the Bonnie again, adds a Zoro, immediately plays the Zoro. He's going to go ahead and attack with his starter deck Law, 6,000 at our leader. And we'll go ahead and block that with our 1-cost Law, as he has lots of ways to remove that. Might as well go ahead and block that right now. I'm going to discard 1 to block his leader with my Boa Hancock. He's going to attack once again for 5 with his Zoro. I'm going to go ahead and discard my Mihawk to protect my last pathetic life. He taps 2 for his leader ability. And he's going to use Law to bounce back his Bonnie for the 10th time this game, putting down his Nico Robin. He's going to go ahead and put Dawn on his Nami in order to attack our leader once again. And I discard my last card, Love Mellow, drawing me an additional card. It goes back to me, and now it's all down to how can I allocate my Dawn here. I go ahead and attack with my Pacifista, boosting him to 7. Our opponent takes the damage. I will do that once again as well with my Kuma. Right here I was just thinking, how many people can I make 7? I then use my leader to attack for 7 once again. and we do the final damage to him. I didn't use my leader ability because we're trying to go for game this turn. It's all or nothing at this point, so I'd rather just have the additional Dawn to make sure our attacks succeed. So here I decided to attack with our Mihawk for 9, forcing out the blocker, and then attacking for 9 once again with our Doflamingo. And that's going to be GG. Thank you so much for reaching this far in the video. Make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe for more awesome content. As always, if it's not the goo, it's got to go. Peace.
Ooh, is that indigo?